All right. Greetings, everyone. This is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. For those of you who are tuning in via TikTok, you may not be able to hear this, but I am going to play a song. Yeah, I'm going to play a song.
Oh yeah, let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka, hell. Oh yeah, oh. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, let's go for Hecka, hell. I call upon all the divine ancestors and the ashes of every mother on earth to break every curse ever cast upon the mother and her children in all timelines and all dimensions. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka, hell. We the mother's divine children conspire together today to forever bind those who have or would harm you, great mother. We conspire today to destroy everything and everyone in every timeline and dimension that is called suffering and despair. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka, hell. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka, hell.
Hey, Lily.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka, hell. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka, hell.
Yes. Okay, so that is that song. Greetings, Lily. I see you. She say I'm here in the bed, no colonizer celebrating for me. So anyway, the song, hopefully I could hear it over there on TikTok. I still gotta figure out my little technological situation. But anyway, that's one of the versions of the conspiracy, the global conspiracy to right all wrongs, as delivered to us by Brother Power Kismet. So I want to thank him for that. We're gonna start using one of those songs. He did like 6 renditions of it. All of them are jamming. We can start using those as our introductory song to whenever I'm doing a live. And I know I just sprung this on y'all out of nowhere, but it is what it is. So we're going to get started with the reading of the global conspiracy to right all wrongs. You just heard one musical version of what we're about to do now. We are the breakers of curses, the casters of glorious conspiracies, and the creators of the new world. I, Cassandra-Floyd, as a divine, am a divine instrument of my mother's divine will. As such, I am protected and guided by the sacred blood and water of my mother, Jacqueline Jeanette Cook's body, that anointed my entry into this life. I am divine because she is divine. Mommy and I are one. I call all of our mothers to this moment. I call on they who govern everything, all time and every space in between. She with 10,000 names. Today it is Oya, Yamaya, Oshun, Iyami-Aj, divine architects of existence, usheresses of the new age. Mommy and I are one. I call upon all the divine ancestors and the Ashe of every mother on earth to break every curse ever cast upon the mother and her children in all timelines and in all dimensions. Mommy and I are one. We, the mother's divine children, conspire together today to forever bind those who have or would harm you, great mother. Mommy and I are one. We conspire together today to destroy everything and everyone in every timeline and dimension that has caused suffering and despair. Mommy and I are one. Today, we embody the sacred and divine power of our mothers. Today, we the tree, we the weavers, rewrite all time. Today, we the tree, we the weavers, rewrite the book of life. Today, we our mother's children call the winds of change. We conjure the primordial dark. We summon the sacred serpent deep from within the earth. We subdue the rogue sun. We control the light. We heal the harm. We embolden the fearful. We instill courageous action. Today, we are staging a global evolution as is our mother's divine will. Mommy and I are one. We, the architects of the new age, now create the new institutions, the new traditions, the new culture, the new ways of being. We ecstatically welcome the radical destruction of all institutions of hate and harm erected by the godheads of war. Mommy and I are one. We have the power. We have the voice. We are the portals of change. Now we employ our sacred breath and give life and sacred blood to this conspiracy. Mommy and I are one. We command, come the wind, come the storm, come the lightning, capture and judge all godheads of war and all betrayers of the mother's divine will. Bring their confusion and war to an immediate end. Scatter them to oblivion, never to be resurrected. We are the fates. We are the furies. We are the Iyami-Aj. We are the disseminators of divine time, divine retribution, divine rectification, and evolutionary justice. Mommy and I are one. We are the restorers of heaven on earth under the mother's divine reign. We wake the sacred serpent from her sleep to assist us in this sacred assignment. Mommy and I are one. Love unlimited is our birthright. Harmony is our birthright. Ecstasy is our birthright. Pleasure is our birthright. Freedom is our birthright. This is her divine will, and we are the divine executors of her will. We speak her will into the now to reverberate throughout all time, all space, and all dimension. It is certainly as we say, forever and ever. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. Now we're going to do the glorious conspiracy of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I, Cassandra-Floyd, as a peculiar expression of the Almighty Divine She, the Great Cosmic Mother, now join in breath with my global family to conspire on behalf of the whole made well. We are breathing these words together to ensure that our home, her body, is restored to her original perfect glory. Her glory is perfect in peace, love, bliss, happiness, and ecstasy. This world exists because we collectively will it so now. We, as the representatives of the mother's reign on earth, speak this beautiful conspiracy as a single cosmic earthly orchestra to guarantee heaven on earth and joyful compliance with our mother's divine will. Possessing the power of our mothers, we speak this glorious future now. It is certainly as we say, forever and ever. Mommy and I are one. And last but certainly not least, from the Sibyls, written by Mama Zogbe. Let me bring this close to my eyes. Thrice 300 years having run their course of fulfillment, Rome by the strife her people shall perish. Rome is doomed to perish, and that indeed by the judgment of God, because it held her name in hatred. And being the enemy of righteousness, it destroyed the people who kept the truth. There shall come to thee some time from above, a heavenly stroke deserved, O haughty Rome, and thou shalt be the first to bend thy neck and be raised to the ground, and thee shall fire destructive utterly consume, cast down upon thy pavements, and thy wealth shall perish, and wolves and foxes dwell in thy foundations, and then shalt thou be wholly desolate, as if not born. Ashe, yes. And I have a sneaking suspicion, not even a sneaking suspicion. I have this this pull that this what I just read, the last thing that I just read, comes from the book The Sibyls, the First Prophetesses of Mami Wata, and the Theft of African Prophecy by the Roman Catholic Church. And I hear you, Jabba Watson, every time. Me too. I get chills every time. But this is a prophecy that I just read to you. This is a prophecy. Let me put my eyes back on. As delivered by, I want to say, the Sibyl of Kamea. Let's see. In the year 150 CE. And I'll be honest, even though this is this prophecy that I just read to you, it was a prophecy delivered in the year 150 CE by the Sibyl of Cumaea about the fall of Rome. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we need to add somebody's name to this here prophecy. I have a sneaking suspicion that Israel's name needs to be added to this prophecy. Yep. I just bought a book too. Speaking of which, I'm gonna start doing that. By the way, I bought a book. I haven't started reading in it yet, but I think I need to start reading it. It is actually about the relationship between Rome and Israel, Rome and the Hebrews. And the name of the book is called Constantine's Sword, talking about the Hebrews being Constantine's sword. So I'm anxious to get up in it, but y'all know me, my most addictive habit is honey, they were not known as the Canaanites during Constantine's time. That was way before Constantine's time. They were fully known as the Hebrews by the time Constantine took power. But let's see what we got going on here. Thank you, Vortex Ninja, for your donation, dear. So thank you for that reminder as well. Oh, thank you too, Java Watson, for your donation. So that is a great segue reminder. So my name is Cassandra-Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. I am the founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, located out of Los Angeles, California. It is a 501c3, a religious 501c3. So housekeeping, if you want to, if anything touches your spirit tonight, if anything moves you in any way, I already hear people talking about they got chills. If anything moves you in any way, then feel free to support the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And so the ways that you can do that, first of all, the temple email address is EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. That is EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. And so that email you can use for several things. You can use to send your donation through Zelle or through PayPal using EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. You can also use that email to email me if you want to inquire about divination or a 5 elements wellness consultation. So I practice 5 elements. It's a style of Chinese medicine. And so I do wellness consultations via Zoom. So if you're interested about a 5 elements wellness consultation or a divination, EVO, EMETEMP Also, you can use Cashapp, which is $ Daughter of the Fates. That's FATES, Daughter of the Fates. Or you can use my name, Cassandra, CASSANDRA -Floyd, FLOYD, to make a donation via Venmo. Also, Daughter of the Fates is my Etsy handle. So if you want to purchase any of the dynamic, awesome tools, jewelry, books that I have available on my Etsy store, go to DaughterOfTheFates, FATES, .etsy.com. If you can't pull it up that way, sometimes people have a hard time pulling it up that way. Just go to Etsy.com and just go to Etsy.com and put in Daughter of the Fates. That's FATES. Let's see what else. So that must be money coming. I got a cricket in the house. I just looked up. There's a cricket right over my head. So hopefully that means money coming. Okay. Let's see. So, and then those of you who are watching via YouTube, then you can do super chat, super thanks, all that jazz. If you have not yet become a paid subscriber to my channel, I would encourage you to do that because there are hefty discounts available only for those who are paid subscribers to my YouTube channel, paid members of my YouTube channel. So you can see those discounts for divination and 5 elements wellness consultations. I believe that is all. Okay, so I really did not know. I don't know, the last 48 hours have been really, weighty. They've been really weighty. And, we just came out of that Scorpio new moon, and child, it felt like yesterday, but we got another big lunar event coming up next week, December 4th. It is the last full moon of the year. It is the full moon in Gemini happening next week on December 4th, and it's huge. It's giant and massive, and especially for those of us who have any kind of serious like Gemini placements. I'm a Gemini rising. Thank you so much, Monica Scott 826. She is becoming a subscriber to the channel, a member to the channel. Yes, I am available for non-divination consults. Yes. So just email me and put consultation in the subject header, and then I can give you descriptions. I will send you a description of what is available in terms of consults and other services that I offer. Okay. So yeah, I'll be honest, the last 48 hours was really weighty. I think I slept most of the day yesterday. I would get up to go to the bathroom, to get some water, and to go right back to sleep. I don't know why I felt so and it wasn't like burned or anything. It was just like, you know what? I'm not doing anything but sleeping today. I'm going to sleep on the couch a little bit. I'm going to sleep in my bed a little bit. My cat slipped on my leg a little bit, like all day yesterday. It was just, I woke up with like some serious intentions of things I'm going to do today. And baby, zero, one of those things got done yesterday. Zero. One of those things got done yesterday. But I feel like a whole new person today, so I guess I needed it. So let me tell you what happened. Let me take these off. I went to this marketplace. So I think I've talked to you guys quite a bit about the Philosophical Research Society here in Los Angeles. Thank you. Everybody's freaking out about my earrings. Yes, I love them too. I just got them about 2 weeks ago or so. But anyway, so I've been going to this place called the Philosophical Research Society for about 2 months. Oh, more housekeeping. Let me just tell you, I haven't posted it yet, but I'm going to do it tonight. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to do it tonight. So there were some things I was promising y'all. One of the things I've been promising y'all for a very long time, I finally have a date for it. I'm hella hype. So I've been promising y'all for so long. I don't know, maybe 4 years now. But I just didn't want to do it prematurely. So the I know y'all be loving my little movie breakdowns, and I know I only do them very few and far between because they require so much work. They require so much study. They require so much, and so I don't do them often. The last movie review, the last movie breakdown that I did was the movie Sinners back in what was that, May? And chow, 13 hours. 13 hours. 13 hours was the movie breakdown that I did. The first day, I think, was like 3 hours or so. Yeah, it was 3 hours because the next day ended up being a full on, non-stop 10-hour stretch in the breakdown of Sinners. And I still didn't get all my notes covered. I didn't even get all my notes covered. But I was like, I'm done. When I saw the sun come up on our live and there was still 65 people on the call, I was like, I'm done. Somebody else gonna have to cover. If they miss it, that's on them. I'm not doing no more. That thing was so deep. Oh, it was so deep. It was so deep. And I still didn't get to all my notes. All that said, there's a reason. I think I've only done one movie breakdown per year since I started doing movie breakdowns. Because I go all the way in. So anyway, so we never even finished the Wicked breakdown. We still didn't even finish the Wicked breakdown. But anyway, which I should probably do considering that it's just come out. But anyway, I have news. This particular breakdown I have been threatening to do. I have been taking notes for it for a very long time, but this one in particular, I just did not want to be premature. I didn't want to do it prematurely because I know it's going to be significant. Anyway, so on December 3rd, which is a Wednesday, which is the night before the full moon, on December 3rd, it is going to be via Zoom only. It is going to be via Zoom only. This one ain't gonna be free. This is required work. This one, and plus I'm paying someone. This one is not going to be free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an Eventbrite for it. I will let you guys know tomorrow. I'll send the Eventbrite out after I pull it together. So there will be an Eventbrite for it. You will have to have you can only confirm through the Eventbrite to get the Zoom link. It will be Zoom only. And the Zoom that I have, I think I can have 125 people on the Zoom at a time. I will be actually interviewing someone for this live, partly. And so the live is going to be the breakdown, the deep dive into the movie The Matrix. Finally. Let me tell you why I have somebody that is going to be joining me. This woman I met at an event here in LA. I was maybe it was a summer solstice event. I don't know. It was some kind of I think it was a summer solstice event. Anyway, I did a piece at this event. I spoke at this event, and afterwards, this young white woman walks up to me and she says, "Are you Cassandra?" I said, "Yeah, I am." She said, "I follow your YouTube channel. I follow your YouTube channel." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." She is an astrologer. She is a genius. I'm really trying to get her confidence up because she is a genius. Her approach to astrology is so dope. I've never seen anything like it. It's so dope. It's so dope. She is like a mad scientist. She's a mad scientist. So anyway, we were talking. She's been helping me with my chart. So we were talking, and I was talking to her about one of the movie breakdowns. She was like, I really love the ones of yours that I've seen so far. And it really taps into this kind of, what does she say? This kind of like, um, this idea, this approach that she wants to pursue deeper, where this girl will do charts for movies. She does charts for movies. You hear what I'm telling you? She does charts for movies and then does a thorough breakdown uh, based on the astrological chart of a movie. Yo, we had a meeting. I know. I know. We had a meeting to consolidate because we've been talking about this for a couple of months. But both of us have had these highs and lows in life and all of this shit. So we finally had a meeting last week to consolidate a date and like what our approach to the breakdown was going to be. And baby, we were supposed to be meeting for 2 hours. 5 hours later, I'm not exaggerating, I didn't leave the meeting with this woman till 2:00 in the morning. 2:00 in the morning. Pages and pages and pages and pages of notes. Plus, guess what else? I did an interview with the brother. I'll tell you all the details during that thing, but the brother who was the martial arts personal trainer for Lawrence Fishburne during the second Matrix. I had dinner with him, interviewed him. I told y'all I've been working on this thing for a long time. Long time. So anyway, I've got that. I've got the 411 from the brother who was on the set for the entire time, who is Lawrence Fishburne's personal martial arts kung fu trainer. And then this young woman, her approach, which she pulled an entire chart. She did an entire chart for the movie The Matrix. So what I'm thinking is this is going to be a 3-part series. Okay. It'll be one price that I charge, but it will be a 3-part series. The 3-part series will all be via Zoom. After all 3 parts have been done via Zoom, then I will eventually, what I'll probably do is eventually post like clips of it on my YouTube channel, and then probably post the whole thing because I'm working on my Patreon. I'll probably post the whole thing on my Patreon. Yeah. So it can continue, and the only way you'll be able to access it is through the Patreon. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Because I can't, yeah. So anyway, that's what I think I'm gonna do. I'll post highlights on my YouTube channel to, encourage people to go over to my Patreon and, view the whole thing as members. But yes, so December 3rd, that's really exciting. So those of you who are interested, send me an email at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com and put like Matrix movie in the subject header if you're interested in getting information. That way, when I create the Eventbrite tonight, I can be sure to send you the link to register for that on the Eventbrite. Yes, so there was a reason I got off on that, but yes, that's coming up. Plus, I'm still doing an event for the winter solstice. So the Eventbrite for that will be coming. I'll probably have it finished by Sunday. So I've got a location for those of you who are local. Those of you who are local here in Los Angeles, greater Los Angeles area. But I will also be live streaming the event that we will be hosting for the winter solstice. So, and that's going to be dope. That's going to be dope. There's going to be musicians. There's going to be straight up ceremony. And I can give you more details about the nature of that ceremony, that ritual that we will be doing. But like I said, I will be live streaming it. And let me just fix my hair. And that too, I will be sending out this weekend via Eventbrite. Okay, with all the details up in there. Somebody just became a member, a paid member at the Yamaya level. Love that. Love that. All right. So let's go. So let me tell you what had happened. I went to, that's how I got on that. I went to the marketplace over at the Philosophical Research Center, Research Society here in Los Angeles. So I've been going there a lot, a lot. I went there Tuesday because they have a book club. Excuse me. They have a book club on Tuesdays. It'd be getting real spicy up in there. It'd be getting real spicy at the book club, y'all. Like sometimes I be thinking people be wanting to go to blows in the book club. I'm not lying. Like it get real hot, it get real popping in the book club. Great. That's so great. That's so great. Thank you, Monica Scott, for becoming a member. So I went there this past Tuesday, and I went there late. I got there maybe about 35, 40 minutes late, and it was pop. It was already on and popping. It was already cracking. And so afterwards, this young man was like, I'd seen him before, but I hadn't been for a few weeks. And he was like, can I talk to you for a minute? This was after it was over. And we ended up talking for about 3 hours after the event was over. And there is a lot of learning that I'm doing in this book club. And the learning that I am doing is not from the content of the book club. So the book club is called the Manly P. Hall book study or whatever. And so the woman who facilitates comes up with different writings by Manly P. Hall, because that's the one who founded the Philosophical Research Society, Manly P. Hall. So she finds some different work of his for us to read and then just discuss. And it's interesting. It's really it's been a learning experience participating in this book club for so many reasons that I might discuss on another day. I ain't gonna get that deep into it. But what I'm gonna read to y'all today, but let me just tell you, I went to this. They had a marketplace last week. Because everybody's getting prepared for like the holidays or whatever. So let me just show you what my let me just show you. Okay. I can't even bring them all over here, but let me just show you. Even looking at this stuff is like, when I tell y'all that I got a problem, I have a problem, okay? Ooh, child. When I tell y'all, it would probably be better if I had some other kind of habit. Because I'm telling y'all, if somebody came in here, they would be like, this woman probably needs psychological help. Okay? I haven't even gone through them since I got them. But anyway, they had this marketplace. They had this marketplace. And I got there very late. And I was like, dang, all the good stuff probably gone. And I was on a strict budget. Y'all know I'm on a strict budget. But I was like, let me go support the center. I got $50. I got $50 to spend. Baby, when I tell you that I look like I robbed that place, I ended up spending $60. But when I tell you, it looked like I robbed the place when I left. I got there and maybe everything was on sale. They were selling mostly books. They had a bunch of stuff, but mostly books. And everything was on sale. Stupid sale. And then maybe 20 minutes after I got there, the DJ makes the announcement that from this moment on, you guys are lucky. From this moment on, everything is 50% off the markdown price. Like, oh my God. Liberty. I got so much dope shit. $60? $60 is what I spent. I'm sitting here looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bags of books. 6 bags of books. And the prices are like this one was $5. So I got this for, she gave it to me for $2. She said, I'm not doing no change. She gave it to me for $2. Hard copy book on timeline of India, right? I got a bunch of books for like art stuff because they were great pictures of just wonderfully beautiful, great pictures. I just want to share this with you guys. So if I'm not boring you guys, I can't wait to get into this one. The alarming history of medicine. Can y'all see that? I know there's a glare on my YouTube for some reason. Hey, the alarming history of medicine. I can't wait to get into that one. Because I'm telling y'all, some of the mess that I've been seeing on these threads lately are really concerning. I know for sure I have to relaunch the health show. So that's going to be one of the Patreons is the health show. This one is dope, crazy dope. The images are insane. This one's called The Pirates. I don't know where I'm gonna put all these books. I got books in every room. I got multiple I got multiple bookshelves in every room, and I still don't have enough room for no more books. I don't know where I'm gonna put these damn books. This one's called Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls. Got this one for $2. So that's one bag down. This one is a dope design book, like interior design book. I got this one for $4. Oh, it's so gorgeous too. Oof. Most folks don't know that was what I wanted to do when I was a kid. As soon as I got out of high school, I did an apprenticeship, a 2-year apprenticeship in interior design with this woman who was like a well-known interior designer in Arizona. Oh, this book is so great. So anyway, I got that one for $4. But I tell y'all, I thought about it, but there was a lot of like serious. Somebody was asking about the earrings and if I could make them. I probably could, but I probably won't. I'll be honest. I am not trying to create more work for myself. These look complicated. I could make them, but I probably won't. This one is called Pillars of the Almighty. This one is like Roman cathedral architecture. That's all it is like the different architecture of the Vatican. So you know why I got that one. I got some Time Life magazines. This one is wild. This one is wild. And I got it for like so little. How much she charged me for this damn book? It was supposed to be $12, which was still crazy, crazy cheap. Supposed to be $12. And she ended up giving it to me for like $4, I think. You see this book? You see how thick this book is? Unknown Leonardo da Vinci. Sketches, paintings. Yo, this book. I mean, like draft designs of yeah, man, the glare on my YouTube is crazy. No glare on my other phone. But anyway, there you go. All kinds of like designs for structures and machines. Oh, listen, this book. So that's bag number 2. Y'all thought I was joking when I said 6 bags. I don't know the hell I'm gonna put all these books. There was another guy who had he had like a bunch of DVDs and stuff. And so he had all these educational DVDs. This is a whole set. See this whole set of educational DVDs? And I was looking, I was like, how much these DVDs? He was like, well, and it was like they were getting ready to close. He was like, well, you know what? Just take them. See these? A whole set of historical DVDs. He said, just take them. I didn't pay a dime, a penny. I didn't pay a dime. Look at these. Cleopatra, King Tut, Pompeii, Stonehenge, Rome's Lost City, Athens, Maya, Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Vikings. He didn't charge me a dime, a penny for all of them. And then he charged me $3 for this Sun Ra DVD. If y'all don't know about Sun Ra, get your life right. Get your life right. Stop playing games. Then I got another book from him. How much did you charge? Yeah, it was $5 for this book. Look who on the cover. Look who on the cover. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Who shot rock and roll? Ooh. It's like a whole photo catalog. Woo, child. Anyway, that's bag number 3. I was playing. I promise I'm gonna read to y'all because one of the books that I got is from this one is Ancient Ritual Bronzes of China. This book. Oh, it doesn't look like much. Yo, the images in this book. Let me show you one. Oh, yo. This is about to be a whole problem. Look at the detail in this book. Oh, can y'all see that on TikTok? Oh my God. This is about to be a whole problem. The whole book is this way. Just gorgeous. Oh my God. So gorgeous. This is about to be a whole problem. Then I bought a bunch of these. I have this whole series already. So these books here are all part of a series that Time Life put out years ago, like maybe the 70s or the 80s. I have the whole series. It's like 24 books, I think. It's like 24 books. So it's called Great Civilizations. So it's a whole series, but I bought the repeats of these. I already have all of these over there in the whole set, but I bought these little repeats of some of the series, and so I could use these for art. So I can tear up the books. I can tear out all the pages. You know what I'm saying? Tear up the books. So there's Greece in here. There's the Age of Faith. There's Rome. And the Reformation, which I find very interesting. But anyway, so I'm gonna tear these up and use these as art projects. I'm about to start teaching some classes to kids. And those were all $1 each. What? Then this one, which was also very beautiful. Oh, just wonderful. This one's called In the Age of Mankind. I think I paid $3 for this one. Nope, $1 for this one. This one, it's called The Fountains of Rome. Let me just tell y'all something about this book. I was thumbing through this book, and it's called The Fountains of Rome. But y'all, I got to go to Rome, okay? I keep telling y'all that. Every year I keep telling y'all that. I got to go to Rome. I'm looking at all of these fountains. All of these fountains are in Vatican City. I'm looking at all of these fountains in Vatican City. Y'all, look at some of these fountains. Look at this. In Vatican City, this is Neptune. Poseidon, however you want to call him. This is Neptune. Hold on. I mean, this has got to be a straight up theft of the Nagas. Look at this. Look at that. Does that or does that not look like the Nagas in India? Right here in the center. Yo, this book. Every single one of these fountains is so incredibly, obviously, like witchy, goddess, society. Child, look, this book here. This one. Nope, it wasn't 6. It was 7 books. Oh, no, it was 6. It was 6. That's 7. This one, I'm hella hype about. It's just a photograph as a book of photography from, the age of jazz, the height of the age of jazz. This one I'm hype about. It's not the one I'm reading to you tonight, but it's probably next. And I did not realize I got so much stuff. Anyway, this, I don't know what it is, but it looked interesting, so I got it. We shall see. It was like DVDs on like mastering human behavior and whatever, chromotherapy or some shit. I don't know. This one, which is just a book of paper crafts. It's called Paper Pleasure, just on different paper crafts, which I'm hype about. This one, I don't know if y'all remember this one, and I don't even know if they ever made another one, but I don't know if y'all remember. I think this came out. When did this come out? Yes, it came out in 1999. It was called Stolen Lives. It was a project. Who was it that did this project? It was everywhere. Let's see. It was called Stolen Lives Project. And what they were trying to do, they were working with several other organizations to try to start to compile a list of all the people who had been killed by police officers, because to this day, the FBI refuses to compile a database of people killed by law enforcement. And so, which is deliberate, by the way. And so these organizations got together and attempted to compile the details and the list of people who had been killed by law enforcement. And that's, let's see, I don't even know if they ever did another edition after this. But I think, was it just for that year? Let's see. Anyway, I got it. They had it there. Yeah. And was it just, I think it was just for Los Angeles? Was it just for California? Damn. Because it was more than 2,000 people. More than 2,000 people in this one print. So I got that. And then the last bag. I got this one for $1. Reading Egyptian Art. This one is going to be cool. This one is going to be dope. This is phrenology, the study of the human skull. Phrenology. But it's like it's the key to limitless understanding of character and personality as revealed by the configurations and regions of the head. This is going to be dope. That one I'm excited about. This one I was on my list on my thriftbooks.com list of books to get. It's called Against Our Will, Men, Women, and Rape by Susan Brown Miller. It was referenced in the book that we read, Pure Lust by Mary Daly. So I got that one for $2. The Tempter's Voice, Language and the Fall of Medieval Literature. Off the Walls. This is this is cool. This is a book of like inspired recreations of our iconic artwork. So different artists who reimagine famous pieces of art. Speaking of art, did y'all hear about the Gustav Klimt piece that sold last week for $240 million goddamn dollars? Yes. $240 million, a Gustav Klimt piece. This is fire. Oh, this is so fire. This book is called Crossroads, and it is nothing but a giant, massive collection of great photography of skateboard culture and rock culture. The pictures are great. Great. Punk rock culture, skate culture. Yeah, this is awesome. Awesome. Yep. And I think there's 2 more in here. This one is translations from Chinese. Oh, this one's beautiful. This is really old too. What year was this published? This one is very old. At least it looks very old, unless they aged the papers deliberately. Oh yeah, this book was published in 1919. I paid $3 for this book. This book was published in 1919, y'all. I paid $3 for this book. It's all like poetry and sonnets, like Chinese poetry and sonnets translated to English. 1919, this book was published. I got it for $3. Ooh, child. And then last but certainly not least, the Dictionary of Cultural Literacy. I got this book for $2. The Dictionary of Cultural Literacy. They had a book there I really wanted, but I wasn't going to pay $40 for it. I know that it was going to be intriguing. It was a book. It was called The Book of American Spiritual Leaders. Yo, just thumbing through that shit. I was like, we got to have this book. The temple got to have this book. And listen, let's see what y'all talking about over here. These book topics. Even though I got 88 other unfinished books on. Child, 88. I only got like 1,000 books up in here. I haven't even thumbed through yet. Let's see. Royal, I see you. You're so sweet. I missed you guys too. I know y'all thought I was waiting for somebody. Usually if I don't do a live in like 2 or 3 days, I'm going to start getting wellness checks from y'all. And I ain't got no wellness checks. So I was like, okay. It is that week that everybody be all busy with. So maybe that's what it was. I was like, let me go ahead and get on here and do a lot. So anyway, those are the books that I got. This one, the ancient coning process. Ew. This one, I can't wait. But the one I'm gonna get into tonight, I said all the things, done all the things. All right, I done let y'all see my little book smash and grab. and right on time, I guess, because this weird puzzle piece thing that TikTok makes you do is so bizarre to me. Let's see. Okay. All right. So the one that I'm going to start reading to you, I know I have another book that I'm supposed to be reading to y'all tonight, but this book in particular, because I'm working on something, I was like, you know what? Let me, since I have to read it anyway, let me go ahead and share at least a little bit of it with you guys. So the book that I got, this, you see this little book? You see this little book? See that? See that? See that little book? This, I was not in the sales department, like where the marketplace was. This was inside the bookstore. This book, this little pamphlet, you see this little teeny weeny zine-esque pamphlet? $33. $33. Fortunately, even the books inside the store were on sale, but they just weren't on sale for half off like the books outside. So anyway, the name of the book, this book-esque pamphlet type of thing was printed, was released in the year 1933. Let me tell you something about the Philosophical Research Society. The books, man. If you have a problem like I do, if you have a book addiction like I do, it is the last place you need to be going on a regular basis. It really, really is problematic. Problematic. Every time I go, I'm like, oh my, the books. That's just the books in the bookstore and in the used bookstore. So they have a bookstore and then a used bookstore. Then they have the library. The library is only open 2 days a week. And if you want to check out a book, you have to search the library on their site and prearrange to check out the book, because all the books are under lock and key. You cannot take your purse in there. You cannot take any highlighters or markers in there. You can take a pencil. You can take a single book to take notes, and that is it. Child, listen. That library is something to behold, child. Something to behold. So anyway, this book was written in 1933. It was released on September 6, 1933. And the name of the book is The Zodiac and the Bible, The End of the World. The Zodiac and the Bible, The End of the World. So because those of you who have been following me for some time, you know that this is my bag, right? Like the need for us to really be, even if we are novices, to really be paying attention to what's happening astrologically, because these people are playing in your face. While you be still to this day, with all the information that you have, still be playing games about astrology. Meanwhile, Gemini, the AI program Gemini, was released this year. Meanwhile, just last week, that old weirdo Jeff Bezos just announced his intention to release a new AI program called Prometheus. This year, as much as we've been talking about Prometheus, for those of you who do not know, Prometheus was the initially proposed name for the planet Uranus. Okay, if that helps you to understand the significance, as Gemini just entered Uranus in July. Okay, I mean, Uranus just entered Gemini in July, which is huge for the United States. Okay, so anyway, they play it in your face because they know no matter what they say and do, you will not take it as personally as they take it. Why do they keep naming all these programs after astrological events that are only happening this year? That are only happening in these 3 years that we've been in this Pluto entering into Aquarius. America's first Pluto returns. But no, we crazy. Anyway, so I found this book. It's called The Zodiac and the Bible, The End of the World. And I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. Let me pick it up. And then it said $33. And then I got the homegirl hookup. You feel me? But so anyway, we're going to read through a little bit of this and see what they got to say. Okay, so as I'm reading it to y'all, this is the first time I'm reading it. Okay. The Zodiac in the Bible. And those of you who are on my YouTube channel in particular, who be rocking with me like that, Cliff's notes, timestamps, that kind of stuff, because I'm not going to be doing any writing and I'm not going to be doing any note taking. Plus, what I'm going to do with this book, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to turn out to be really, really good. It may be one of the ones that I end up photocopying, not photocopying, what you call it? You know, whatever. What you call it? Whatever. Copying it and offering it on my Etsy store. Okay. So anyway, let's go. The Zodiac in the Bible, the end of the world. There has recently been still another revival of the talk about the end of the world. Isn't that something? As everybody thought that Jesus was coming back for the church last month. And this is 1933. This is before the Second World War that this book was released. Once again, newspaper articles are being written and public meetings being held, both in America and in Great Britain, where more or less sensational statements are made to effect that the end of the world is now due and may be expected at any moment. Ever since the outbreak of the Great War in 1914, the prophets have been exceptionally busy in this direction, and on several occasions, groups of people have actually sat up all night waiting for the end. Now the old adage says there is no smoke without fire, and it proves itself in the present instance. For behind all this speculation and discussion, a great truth undoubtedly does lie. And in this booklet, I propose to explain exactly what it is. The actual fact is that while it is not true that the end of the world is, in the ordinary sense of the words, is coming upon us, we do indeed stand on the threshold of a new age. One age has now passed away and another age is coming into being. And it is this tremendous change in the unfoldment of the human race that people of all sorts everywhere have been sensing. Man. In other words, humanity is now entering upon a new era in its history. And this means that most of the old ideas in which we were all brought up are now definitely become out of date, and that we shall have to adapt ourselves to a completely new outlook upon life. A completely new outlook, mark you, no mere rearrangement of old ideas into a new pattern. Oh, shoot. Such as the changing of a monarchy into a republic or a republic into a monarchy, the disestablishing of one church and the establishing of a rival one, the swapping of King Log for King Stork, or the changing of Tweedledum for Tweedledee. It means a complete change. God, y'all. It means a complete change in all our fundamental values, a completely new way of looking at all human problems. In fact, a new age. Yo, I am tripping right now. God damn. I said I wasn't going to take no notes, but I guess I lied. Hold on. Let me grab a pen. Damn. Man. Jeez. Many people are looking about them today with a feeling of consternation at what they see in the world. Old landmarks like the Austrian Empire, the Tsarist Empire, and the Hohenzollern Empire and the Turkish Empire are swept away within 4 short years. Woo. The ancient Chinese Empire in the east and the Spanish monarchy in the west have disappeared too. The greatest material boom in recorded history has been followed by the greatest depression. The governor of the Bank of England has publicly stated that after months of investigation, he does not understand the causes of the depression and that he has no remedy to offer for dealing with it. The Orthodox churches were once hardly adequate to meet the needs of a smaller population. Now, churchmen complain of the empty pews that face them Sunday after Sunday. My God. And the reason is that the old theological sanctions, which once meant, which once meant so much, are no longer taken seriously by the great masses of people. In fact, it is often said bitterly that nothing is as it was. Everything is changed. General Smuts said a year or two ago, quote, "Humanity has once more struck its tents and is again on the march," end quote. All this is perfectly correct as far as it goes, but when once we have the key to the mainspring of human history, oh my God. Yeah, but when once we have the key to the mainspring of human history, we shall no longer be either surprised or dismayed at these occurrences, no matter what the next few years may hold and beyond, no matter what the next few years may hold, and beyond a doubt, there are going to show us some very surprising things. We shall not be either alarmed or grieved if we realize what it is that is really happening. Y'all have to forgive me. The way that this person is punctuating is confusing. The history of mankind proceeds in no haphazard or casual way, but through the unfoldment of a number of distinct periods or ages. Each of these periods has its own characteristics, its own lessons to be learned, its own work to be done, and each one is quite fundamentally different in every aspect from its predecessor, and not a mere improvement or expansion of it. Man, each of these ages lasts approximately 2,000 years. To be more precise, each one is usually about 2,150 years long. And the passing from one such age into another is always accompanied by both external and internal storm and stress, such as the world has recently been going through. The last change took place a couple of thousand years ago, and the new world that formed itself from that melting pot was the Western Christian civilization that we know. This great enterprise, having worked itself out and fulfilled its mission, has now drawn to its close, and the new age is already upon us. In connection with the coming and going of these different ages, it is necessary to be familiar with the natural phenomenon known as the precession of the equinoxes. It is not necessary that a student should possess any general knowledge of astronomy. It is sufficient to know that as we look out from our globe at the illimitable star illimitable starry hosts that surround us, the axis of the earth seems to trace out a huge circle in the heavens every 26,000 years or thereabouts. This huge circle, which is known as the Zodiac, falls into 12 parts or sectors, and each part or sign, as the ancients called it, marks the passage of time that we occupy in working through one of our ages. This zodiac is one of the most interesting of all the symbols that reveal the destiny of mankind. In fact, the zodiac, with its 12 signs, symbolizes the most fundamental thing in the nature of man. It is nothing less than the key to the history of the human race, of the psychology of the individual person, and of his regeneration or spiritual salvation. Listen, listen, listen. The Bible, which is of course the great fountain of truth, has the zodiac running through it from beginning to end. The 12 sons of Jacob, who become the 12 tribes of the Old Testament and the 12 apostles of the New Testament, are apart from their historical identity, special expressions of the 12 signs of the zodiac. The marshaling of the 12 tribes of Israel in strict astronomical order in the great encampment of the wilderness is a leading example of the zodiacal symbolism, which the reader can check for himself. The knowledge of this mysterious thing, the zodiac, is found all over the world, among all races and in all ages. Excavations among the most ancient ruins in Asia have revealed representations of the zodiac. Both the earlier and the latter Egyptians understood it as well. The Chaldeans were masters of the subject. It was engraved upon the temples of Greece and Rome. The American Aborigines in Mexico and Peru were well acquainted with it. The oldest Chinese records speak of it, and it is turned up unexpectedly on forgotten islands in the Pacific. Pythagoras taught it in the olden days, of course, and it was incorporated into the fabric of more than one of the medieval cathedrals. The Great Circle at Stonehenge is really a type of the zodiac, and the 12 signs, beautifully executed, form part of the ornamentation of several of the very newest and highest size skyscrapers in New York itself. Now, what is the real significance of the zodiac, which so universally permeates all human culture? It is a curious and most interesting fact that men constantly employ and thus perpetuate symbols of whose real meaning they are not consciously aware. Often in this way, the profoundest truths are enshrined in what seems to be but a casual ornamentation. The zodiac has usually been either ignored or treated as a mere picturesque decoration, or else it has been degraded into superstition and fortune telling. And so we have now to ask ourselves the question, what is the real significance of the zodiac? And in order to answer this question, we must put another one. What is the real reason of mankind being on earth at all? What are we here for? What is it all about? Why are we born and why do we die? Is there a reason or a pattern behind it all? And if so, what is it? And the answer to these questions, no doubt the most fundamental of all questions, is this: that we are here to learn the truth of being, that we are here to become self-conscious, self-governed entities, focal points of the divine mind, each expressing God in a new and dynamic way. Woo! Woo! That is the object of our existence. And the only thing that we have to do is to realize it, this is the object of our existence. And the only thing that we have to do to realize it is to get a better knowledge of God, because such knowledge is the answer to every problem. All trouble, all sin, sickness, poverty, accidents, death itself are due simply to a want of knowledge of God. And per contra, all health, success, prosperity, beauty, joy, and happiness consist in obtaining that knowledge of God. When we are in trouble of any kind, it means that for the time being, our knowledge of God is inadequate. And let's see. When we are in trouble of any kind, it means that for that time being, our knowledge of God is inadequate. And recovery means that our knowledge of God has become clearer. Of course, some individuals progress far more rapidly than the main bulk. These are the leaders and teachers of the race. But the main body of humanity is always steadily, if it may seem a little slowly, growing in its knowledge of God. This is the reality behind what we call progress or evolution. The passage from savagery to barbarism and from barbarism on to civilization is really a growth in the knowledge of God. All of these things that we see as scientific, artistic, or social advancement, such diverse things as the spread of hygiene, universal and compulsory education, the abolition of slavery, and the emancipation of women, all these things are really but the outer expression of mankind's increase in the true knowledge of God. In order to acquire that full understanding of all that God is, that full understanding which will be his complete salvation, man has to learn, piecemeal as it were, to know God in 12 different ways. It takes him a couple of thousand years to learn each of these lessons, and so we can, if we like, think of our progress around the Zodiac as a series of 12 lessons which we have to learn about God. Let's see, we have now finished our last lesson and have already begun our study of the new one. Each of these lessons has a name which has been allotted to it for convenience. Everything must have a name, but as many of us know, names, when rightly understood, are often found to be symbolical of the things for which they stand, and the names of our lessons or signs are no exception to this rule. The name of the last sign, the one which we have just left, was Pisces, or the fishes. The one before that, which we left over 2,000 years ago, was Aries, or the ram. The one before that was Taurus, or the bull, and so forth. These names, be it noted, do not in the least refer to the physical shape of the constellations as seen in the sky. Much effort has been wasted in the endeavor to trace a far-fetched resemblance to a lion or a bull or a centaur, where there is not the very faintest ground for so doing. They refer to the innate character of the lesson that we have to learn at that particular time that it is indicated by the sign. The new age upon which we have now entered is called Aquarius, the man with the water pot. And the Aquarian age is going to be a completely new chapter in the history of mankind. The student shall be very clear about this. A new age means everything new, and not just a polishing up of the old Piscean ideas, which most people make the mistake of regarding as the only possible ideas, the only natural and established order of things, instead of being merely one of an infinite number of possible expressions. As a matter of fact, we are within the not very far distant future going to change everything in the outer world around us. Our political, social, ecclesiastical institutions, our methods of doing our daily work, our relationships with one another, our manifold instruments of self-expression and self-discovery, all will undergo a change, a radical change, and for the better. A few of these changes have already come about, but the really big changes are yet to be. Now, concerning these changes, it will be the attitude which the individual adopts towards them which will determine their reaction upon them. If we take up an attitude of resistance to these natural changes, if we, so to say, antagonize them in our own consciousness, man. I said I wasn't going to write in this book until after I printed it out for y'all, but it looks like that's out the window. Let's see. If we take up an attitude of resistance to these natural changes, if we, so to say, antagonize them in our own consciousness, if we assume that change must necessarily be bad, my God, y'all, which is only another way of saying that all our present arrangements are perfect and unimprovable, then we shall suffer a sense of conflict and defeat and loss. We shall go about saying, quote, the country is going to the dogs, end quote. God damn. Oh my God. Talk foolishly about, quote, the good. Yo, I cannot. I can't. I cannot, y'all. Fuck. Y'all. Oh my God. What the hell? Listen. Talk foolishly about the good old days, which never existed. Yeah, I gotta put this book. Shit. Oh my God. Somebody go back and figure out what day it was. Maybe it was a month ago. Maybe it was 2 months. Was it 2 months ago? We were talking about nostalgia as a weapon. How nostalgia was literally developed as a weapon to have us perpetually looking at the past so that we did not actively participate in generating the future. Child, listen. Oh my God. Listen, we shall go about saying, quote, the country is going to the dogs, end quote. Talk foolishly about, quote, the good old days, which never existed. And in fact, take up the stock attitude of obscurantism and reaction. Our soul will become what was said of a certain university, quote, a home of lost causes and dead faiths. Oh, and all this will mean, temporarily, at least, damn, y'all. Let me just remind y'all, this book was written in 1933, and all of this will mean, temporarily at least, defeat, failure, waste. If, on the other hand, we know the truth and practice it, we shall sweep forward in the grand march of humanity, learning the new lesson, rejoicing in the new work, triumphing in its triumphs. My God. Woo. Yo. If instead of seeking to hold on to the wreckage of outworn things, y'all, I did not know we was going to church up in here today. I did not know we was going to church by reading a little pamphlet written in 1933. Every hair on my body is standing on end. My whole body is buzzing. Whoo! Listen, if on the other hand, we know the truth and practice it, and we shall sweep forward in the grand march of humanity, learning the new lesson, rejoicing in the new work, triumphing in its triumphs. If instead of seeking to hold on to the wreckage of the outworn things, we are prepared to march breast forward and, as has been finely said, quote, greet the unknown with cheer. God damn. Woo! Then indeed we shall be loyal servants of God and our fellow man. The summing up of all wisdom is also the fundamental recipe for happiness. Quote, set your heart upon God and not upon things, upon cause and not upon manifestation, upon principle and not upon form, end quote. As the old landmarks disappear one by one beneath the rising tide of the new life, we shall go boldly on, knowing that the best is yet to be, and that the, quote, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath it entered into the heart of man the things that God hath prepared for them that love him and put him first. Each of these ages or ways of knowing God has, yeah, my, each of these ages or ways of knowing God has a dominant quality and or character of its own, which distinguishes it from the other 11. Just as each nation has an identifiable, just as each nation has an indefinable quality which all its natives possess in common, no matter how much they may otherwise differ among themselves, and which marks them off from all other groups of people, just as each of the great religions has its own special character or atmosphere that rises from the particular aspects of universal truth upon which it lays stress. So each age has its own peculiar character arising from the particular aspects of truth with which it deals. The quality which distinguishes the new Aquarian age, so distinct in every aspect from the late Piscean age, is called for convenience Uranus. Mm, mm. And in a general way, all the activities and expressions of the Aquarian age will be Uranian. Now, this is interesting because it gives us a broad idea of the sort of thing that we may expect. Uranus is usually spoken of as a disruptor or smasher, but it must be remembered that this does not necessarily, as is too often assumed, imply real destruction. It is well that the less good should be destroyed. If this It is well that the less good should be destroyed if this means that the better is given an opportunity of taking its place. Those who understand the truth of being are well aware that what we call death and destruction are usually but the prelude to something better and finer. What is the death of Monday but the birth of Tuesday? The death of the old year but the birth of the new one? The pulling down of an old house but the prelude to the building of a newer, better one? And so the new age, while at first it may seem to be destructive, will in fact be destructive only of ideas which, while good and necessary in their own time, have now been outgrown by humanity and could only remain as a hindrance. Woo! Listen, consider the state of mind of the chick at the moment when he has become fully formed and ready for a free and independent life. But just before the shell has broken, how delightfully comfortable inside of that shell feels. How warm, how snug, how safe, how terrifying to a nervous chick must be the prospect of being thrown out into a wide, cold, unknown, seemingly infinite world. Yet, because he is now mature and ready for the great adventure, the warm shell, which has been so necessary and so comforting to him up until that moment, would, if he attempted to remain in it, very soon smother and destroy him. He has outgrown that phase, and out he must go, willing or not. A brave chick, on the contrary, one who has faith in the essential goodness of life and the innate friendliness of things, goes out into the new world, conquering and to conquer. Here, Uranus comes as a smasher indeed, but it is as the smasher of a prison and the liberator of a captive soul. Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Humanity is now very much in the position of the chick who has outgrown his old environment and must boldly step out into something new and strange and grand. Uranus is also spoken of as a symbol of democracy and freedom, and at other times it is referred to as standing for autocracy. And this seeming contradiction has puzzled many. But the actual truth is that Uranus stands neither for democracy nor autocracy as such, but for individuality. Now, the free expression of individuality must mean true democracy in the sense that every human soul shall have an equal opportunity for true self-expression as the thing that God intended it to be, and on the other hand, as the master of its own fate and the captain and the captain of its own soul. It becomes the autocrat of its own life, answerable to God alone and unrestricted in its development by any tyrannical outside interference. This is Uranus. We have actually been in the Aquarian age for a number of years already, but it is only now that we are beginning to feel the full effects of the change. Nature knows nothing of sudden jerky transitions. With her, all is gradual, and so each new age stills slowly upon the human consciousness, and more than one generation goes by before the changes become easily observable. We must remember that in a period lasting about 2150 years, half a century or a century does not mean so much as one might suppose at first sight. Today, the introductory period, technically known as the cusp, is over. Damn. Excuse me. Known as the cusp is over, and we are now in the full tide of Aquarian life. As we look about us in the world, we are at once struck. Yeah, oh my God. Damn. Oh my God. As we look about us in the world, we are at once struck by the number of Aquarian manifestations everywhere in being. The new inventions, for instance, and that have transformed the world since the childhood of middle-aged people are nearly all Aquarian Uranian in character. Electricity, which in its various forms as electric light and traction, the telegraph, the telephone, and now the radio has done so much to make the new world different from the old one. Electricity is essentially Uranian. Every application of electricity, for instance, is the individualization at a particular point of manifestation, lamp, motor, bell, microphone, and so forth, of a general current. And everyone who has experimented, however slightly, with an electric current knows that when wrongly handled, it is exceedingly sudden and violent in its reactions, a disruptor or wrecker. Yet, when employed constructively and intelligently, it does more than any other material thing to liberate the human soul from the fetters of drudgery and physical limitations. The telephone abolishes distance and is man's first partial demonstration over the space limitation. The electric light indoors and out of doors has been the finger of God in promoting education, cleanliness, sanitation, and all other good things that wither in the darkness and flourish in the light. Electric traction, when it is given a fair chance, will empty our city slums and restore our people to God's countryside. The radio is rapidly breaking down many of the artificial barriers that formerly divided man from man. Within each nation, it is destroying social prejudices right and left by giving a correct standard of speech to all classes, and already the change wrought by this is quite noticeable. Internationally, the radio laughs at frontiers, and thanks to its efforts, it will no longer be possible, however much reaction. Let's see. Internationally, the radio laughs at frontiers, and thanks to its efforts, it will no longer be possible, however much reactionary authorities may desire it, to isolate any body of human beings from the common stock of human knowledge and human progress. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God. The Inquisition would have been powerless against the radio broadcast and a receiving set in every home. Next to electricity, the internal combustion engine in the form of an automobile and the airplane has probably done most to change the face of the world, and this too is essentially Uranian Aquarian. Consider how fundamentally individual a thing an automobile is, as compared, say, with the railroad train. Indeed, one could hardly get a more complete expression of the distinction between mass compulsion and free individuality than in considering the difference between taking a prescribed journey to a prescribed timetable in a train and the, untrammeled exploring of the countryside in a car. Internationally, the airplane has simply abolished miles. Let's see. Internationally, the airplane has simply abolished military frontiers. Military authors are still writing in terms of strategic frontiers, but statesmen know to their secret consternation that they are gone. Talking about frontiers. The Aquarian age, in fact, is to be the age of personal freedom. It is no mere coincidence that its arrival marks the emancipation of women as a sex, and that in the present age, the children too have at least been conceded rights as individuals, and are no longer regarded simply as the personal property of their parents. We have seen, let's see what time it is. We have seen that what are called the 12 signs of the zodiac really signify 12 different ways of knowing God. Most thinking people have already given up on the childish way of thinking of God as just a big superior kind of man, and as the Aquarian age advances, the great bulk of mankind will gradually outgrow this limitation too. The truth is that actually God is all in all, infinite mind, life, truth, and love. God is intelligent, unfathomable wisdom, unspeakable beauty. In repeating these words, we get, of course, a hopelessly inadequate realization of what they must really mean. And the true nature of God in its fullness is so immense and wonderful and undreamed of by us that in practice it takes the human race not thousands but millions of years to reach its full comprehension. Even to grasp the fact that God is incorporeal mind, perfect principle, has taken us literally hundreds of thousands of years, and we shall not all reach even this point for some time to come yet. And when we have grasped that stupendous reality, the truth about God still, thank you for the donation, Sage Page. The truth about God still opens out in front of us to infinity. Just as each age is a special lesson that humanity has to learn about God, so in each age there is a special, outstanding teacher who teaches the lesson of that age and demonstrates it in a complete and unmistakable manner. The great race teacher of the age of Aries was Abraham. Abraham raised the standard of the one God, perfect, not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. Abraham, when he received his enlightenment, came straight out from idolatry and, foretelling Moses, said in effect, "No, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one God. Thou shalt have no other gods before him. Thou shalt not make unto thyself graven images." How tremendous a step forward this was in the history of humanity how tremendous a step forward this was in the history of humanity can only be appreciated by those who have investigated the old civilizations with their welter of competing gods and their futile, grotesque, and sometimes obscene idolatries. Whoa. Oh, shit. An old tradition tells that the immediate family of Abraham, Abram, as he then was, were actually manufacturers and sellers of idols. And so, in coming out for the one purely spiritual God, he was obliged to break with his own immediate people. It may well have been so, for is it not the maker of images who is most likely given an honest heart to become the iconoclast? Abraham, having launched the new age, that of Aries or the ram, passed into history, and his work went on with the usual ebb and flow characteristic of human activity. Now it should be noted that that age is called symbolically the age of ram or sheep, and that all through the Bible, sheep are used to symbolize thoughts, and that the great outstanding lesson of the Bible is that we have to watch our thoughts, because whatever we think with conviction will come to us sooner or later. It is important to note in this connection how many of the great saints and heroes of the Bible were at one time shepherds. Jacob, Moses, David, Cyrus the Mede, his anointed, and the many of lesser importance, all served an apprenticeship in the keeping of sheep, the right control of thought. And of the many titles that have been given to our Lord himself, he would probably have preferred that of the Good Shepherd. Did he not say, quote, the Good Shepherd gives his life for his sheep, end quote? In all this, we see the influence of the Aryan lesson working itself out in the race thought. Egypt in the Bible stands for materialism, sin, sickness, and death. Quote, out of Egypt I have called my son, end quote. And very significantly, we are told that Egyptians harbored an undying enmity and hatred for a shepherd. All of this, of course, is not to be taken literally as a reflection upon the people who lived in the Nile Valley and were no worse, if no better, than other men, but as a symbolical description of the working out of natural laws. It is an interesting fact that right down to the present day in the Jewish synagogues, where the Aryan age still lingers, the ram's horn remains as a living symbol. The age which followed the Aryan age, from which we have recently emerged, and which might well be called the epoch of Orthodox Christianity, is known as the age of Pisces, or the fishes. The great leader and prophet of that age was, of course, Jesus Christ. And we know that in the early days of Christianity, he was symbolized among his followers as a fish. The cross, the great emblem of Christianity in later times, was not used in the first days. People were then a little ashamed to think of the master in connection with a Roman gibbet. In the catacombs of Rome and elsewhere, we find inscriptions of the early Christians in which Jesus is referred to as the fish. Damn. This had the further advantage of throwing their persecutors off the scent. Actually, the cross as a symbol of physical matter and physical limitation is far, far older than Christianity. But that is by the way. Suffice it to say that the age of Pisces was constantly being announced in symbols by all sorts of people, many of whom realized not at all what it what it was they were doing. The great medieval church, for instance, centered her authority for practical purposes in the bishop, and the distinguishing symbol of the bishop is, of course, the mitre. And what is the mitre but a fish's head worn as a headdress? Jesus said, quote, I will make of you fishers of men, end quote. And actually, his first disciples were fishermen, just as the Old Testament leaders were shepherds. Although the Bible, all through the Bible and throughout the old occult tradition in general, the fish stands as a symbol of wisdom, and wisdom is then understood as the technical term for knowledge of the allness of God and of the power of prayer. Notice that the fish lives in the depths of the waters, the human soul, from which it has to be, so to say, fished out, and it is silent and non-assertive. It has to It has to be sought with patience and gentleness. It is not to be hunted down violently like a wolf. The Aquarian age is the age of man with the water pot. Quote, seek ye a man bearing a pot of water, end quote. And who is the man with the water pot? Why, the gardener, of course. And so the interpretive symbol of the new age is to be that of a gardener. Man, having graduated as a shepherd and as a fisherman, now becomes a gardener. And this title nicely expresses the kind of work that he has to do in this new role. We have now reached the stage when the lesson of the need for thought control having been learned, and the Santa Sophia, or the holy wisdom, having been contacted and appreciated, the two things must be united mentally in our everyday practice. Modern science is making some of its greatest strides in the realm of psychology, so that indeed psychology may today be called the handmaid of metaphysics. And psychology is insisting more and more that the conscious and the subconscious minds stand almost exactly in the relationship of the gardener and the garden. The gardener sows his seed in the soil that he has prepared. He waters the ground, and as far as possible, he selects a site upon which the sun will shine. But he does not try to make the seed grow. He leaves that to nature. So in spiritual treatment or scientific prayer, we speak the word and we leave it to the divine power to make the demonstration. I have planted, Apollos waters. This is a quote. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase, end quote. The dominant note of the new age is to be spiritual development and spiritual demonstration. At this stage, the question naturally presents itself. Who is or who is to be the great teacher and prophet of our new Aquarian age? Well, it seems that there is no lack of candidates for the position. All over the world, sundry people are laying claim to this high office, and their followers are claiming it for them. No time need be wasted over this sorting of thing. Did not the Master warn us that false Christs would arise, who would deceive, if it were possible, the very elect? The wonderful fact is that now, after all these thousands and thousands of years of upward striving, we have at last reached the stage where humanity is ready to do without personal profits of any kind, to contact the living God at first hand for itself. Never until now has this been possible for the mass of people. Individuals from time to time have reached this stage, but never until now has it been possible for the great majority. Always they have had to have some concrete symbol. First of all, a course, a palpable idol, such as was denounced by Abraham and Moses, and afterwards by Muhammad. Later, when they have passed beyond this stage, they still demanded a man to worship, or even a book, something tangible and concrete to lay hold of mentally. But now, chiefly owing to the work that Jesus did in the race mind 1900 years ago, it has become possible for all men and women, if they will, to grasp the idea of the impersonal Christ truth, to grasp the truth that their own indwelling Christ, the inner light of the Quakers, is always with them to inspire, to heal, to strengthen, and to comfort and illumine. Jesus said, unless I go away, the Holy Spirit cannot come, meaning that as long as he is with them, they would cling to his personality instead of finding Jesus said, unless I go away, the Holy Spirit cannot come, meaning that as long as he was with them, they would cling to his personality instead of finding the infinite the incorporeal God for themselves. And this is very largely what the Orthodox churches have always done. It is, and so the great world teacher of the new age is not to be any man or woman or any textbook or any organization but the indwelling Christ that each individual is to find and contact for himself. There is a simple test by which anyone can tell a true teacher from a false one. It is this: if he points you to his own personality, if he makes special claims for himself, if he says that he has received any special privileges from God that are not equally accessible to the whole human race anywhere, if he attempts in his own name or in that of an organization to establish under any pretense a monopoly of the truth about God, then however imposing his credentials, however pleasing his personality may be, he is a false teacher, and you had better have nothing to do with him. If, on the contrary, he tells you to look away from himself, to seek the presence of God in your own heart, and to use books, lectures, and churches only as a means to that one end, then however humble his efforts may be, however lacking his own demonstration may seem, he is nevertheless a true teacher and is giving you the bread of life. It takes humanity about 26,000 years to go through this class of 12 lessons about God, which we call the Zodiac. But of course, we have been through the class many times already. Remember that the race is far older than most people think, and we shall have to go through it many times more. But each time we go through the same lessons at a much higher level, garnering a different quality of knowledge, for it is not an endless circle, but an outward upward reaching spiral. Now this change through which the world is going at the present time, which is covering the front pages of the newspapers with sensations and filling the hearts of men with fear and misgivings. This change, as it happens, is much more than the mere passing from one sign or age to another, such as happened in passing from Aries into Pisces, from Taurus into Aries, from Gemini into Taurus, and so on. Actually, our present change is the greatest that the human race has made for about 52,000 years. Excuse me. That is to say, we have been twice around the zodiac since we last made such a giant step forward as the present one. Not since the mass of humanity became capable of using the abstract mind. It is quite true that the precious few of them ever use it now, but they all could if they wanted to and were trained for it. Let's see. Abstract mind, has it gained such an increase in power? It is now possible for everyone, if he so wishes, to contact the spiritual power which lies all around us, which is God, always ready at a moment's notice to help us in any way that we may need. This means that while the race as a whole moves forward relatively slowly on the path of spiritual development, there is now no reason at all why any individual who really desires it should not cut out all intermediate steps and make the great demonstration at his own pace, irrespective of any material circumstances of time or zodiac or anything else whatever. The qualities he will need for success are a single-minded pursuit of truth and the wholehearted practice of the highest that he knows at the moment. So now we see that the zodiac is really one of the great cosmic symbols, perhaps the greatest of them all, a diagram of the unfoldment of the human soul, and not the mere physical fact of the precession of the equinoxes. Not just a kind of circular railroad track for fortune telling, but one of the deepest mysteries of the soul. The question of when the great changes herein referred to will take place is naturally one that does not admit of a precise answer. It may, however, be said with confidence that what will appear to us as the most revolutionary and far-reaching upheavals in the circumstances of human life will be all over and done with in from 20 to 25 years from now, and that some very striking and important changes are already underway and will become perhaps startlingly apparent within the next few years. These changes will hardly go through without a certain amount of disturbance and temporary chaos, as we have seen. But we do know that man as a race will emerge with flying colors, purified, strengthened, and emancipated. But what of the individual? Well, individuals may have a bad time in certain cases, but your personal fate will depend upon one thing and one thing only. The condition in which you keep your consciousness. If you maintain an attitude of mental peace and goodwill towards all, if you really root out of your own heart every atom of hostility and condemnation for your brother man, no matter who he may be, then you will be safe. As Jesus promised, quote, nothing shall by any means hurt you, end quote. You will pass through the hottest fires unmoved and unscathed. But if you allow yourself to be drawn, if only by mental acquiescence, into any current of hatred against anybody, against any nation, or against any race, or against any class, or any religious sect, or any other person or body of people, under any pretense whatsoever, then you will have forfeited your protection, and you will have to take the consequences. If you allow yourself to be carried away by any political, religious, or newspaper campaign of hatred, no matter how self-righteously it may be camouflaging itself, then you will be laying yourself open to any destructive tendencies that may be going. It is for you to choose, knowing that as you do choose, so it will be done unto you. Of course, the only real protection in any kind of danger is the knowledge of scientific prayer or the practice of the presence of God. And so have not we understood this truth and how to apply it in practice? Let's see. And so have not uh, a sacred duty and responsibility to do all that lies in our power to spread that knowledge now as widely and as quickly as possible. Well. That's the end of it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's the end of it. So now I'm going to have to reread this joint by myself so I can adequately take notes, because that was loaded and deep for several reasons. The first thing standing out is the fact that this book was written in 1933, and at that moment, they were already saying what we've been saying presently, is in 1933 that they were already, quote, well into the Aquarian age, which is fascinating because I have not heard that anywhere up until this point. So that is interesting. Excuse me. So that's interesting. That's something I want to dive into on my own. But the other thing that stands out even more than that is the discussion around the precession of the equinoxes and this, what they call the Great Year, which is the 26,000 years that this person was referencing, being the rolling out of the ages, and how each rolling out of the age is a manifestation of God in that age. Fascinating, because I've been the last maybe 5 lives that I've done with you guys. I don't feel good all of a sudden. The last 5. I'm not gonna stay on here long. I'm feeling nauseous all of a sudden. But the last 5 lives that I've done with you guys have been really deep, really deep. Especially And even, I'll be honest, even given this last book club that I went to at the Philosophical Research Society, it's like so much is becoming so much clearer that, let me give you an example so it doesn't seem like I'm rambling. In the last two book clubs at the PRS, have been covering, I don't even think I have it, have been covering the question of, I'm so sorry, have been covering you know what? I don't think I have it. Oh, I do have it. Have been covering this little piece here written by Manly Hall about Nordic mythology, right? Initiation and the mystery schools, Nordic cosmogony. And while we were reading it, this last portion of it, while we were reading the last portion of it, I was just having breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough about these connections. And it's just interesting how there were several things that came out for me that stood out. But what I think I'm going to do actually is I think I'm going to close this out. It's 12:30, and I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I'll do another live tomorrow, probably earlier in the evening, and then we'll discuss some of the breakthroughs. Y'all, chew on what I delivered out of this little booklet. For those of you who joined late, it was called The Zodiac and the Bible, The End of the World by Emmet Fox. And we'll discuss more tomorrow. Okay? So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you were able to eat off of it. It was deep to me in good and bad ways. So maybe I'll be prepared to say a little bit more about that tomorrow when I do another live tomorrow. In the meantime, be looking out for the links for the Eventbrite, for the deep dive on the Matrix that's going to be featuring myself and a co-host. It's going to be dope because the first part of it, we're going to be starting with the astrological chart of the movie The Matrix. And then we'll do 2 subsequent parts, which is going to be my personal breakdown and deep dive into the symbolism, the hidden symbolism in the Matrix. The interview that I did with the brother who was the personal kung fu trainer for Lawrence Fishburne during the making of the second Matrix movie. It's going to be dope. So be looking out for that, and be looking out for the information on the Winter Solstice event that we're going to be doing in a few weeks. And for any more information, for those of you who tuned in late, just email me at EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. That's EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. If you want to send donations to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, then you can do that using that email address, EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com, for Zelle or for PayPal. If you want to send a Venmo, it is Cassandra, Cassandra-Floyd, Floyd. And also you can send Cashapp at $ DaughterOfTheFates, FATES. Also, Daughter of the Fates is the name of my Etsy store. So it's DaughterOfTheFates, FATES, DaughterOfTheFates.etsy.com. So I'm going to try to go ahead and get this that I just read to you guys tonight, digitally copied so I can post it up on my Etsy store. The Zelle is actually the email address. The Zelle is the email address, EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. So I'm gonna get this uploaded to the Etsy store for you guys, and maybe we can do a whole like little book club discussion on it, because there was a lot to unpack, especially considering the thing was written in 1933. It was very very revealing and deep, and yeah, so I'd like to discuss it, but I'm gonna go ahead and go. All right, so thank you again. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you're interested in a session of divination, or 5 elements wellness consultation with me, email me at the same email address, EvoEmeTemp@gmail.com. And that's all I got for you tonight. This is probably a record over the last year, a 2-hour live. But anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka. Head out. Oh yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go for Hecka. Head out. I call upon all the divine ancestors and the ash of every mother on earth to break every curse ever cast upon the mother and her children in all timelines and all dimensions. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka. Head out. We the mother's divine children conspire together today to forever bind those who have or would harm you, great mother. We conspire today to destroy everything and everyone in every timeline and dimension that is called suffering and despair. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka. Hey. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka. Hela. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's get it poppin', Kalima. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's go for Hecka.